In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a folder within Google Drive on iPad. So here you can see I have a folder on my home screen. It says Google Suite, and I just have all the Google apps in one location. If you would like to do that, what you can do is hold down an app, and you'll have a pop-up window. You can see here it says Edit Home Screen, and that will make the apps kind of wiggle a little bit, and you can move them around. If you hold them over each other, you'll get this option to create a folder. Okay, so I could put notes in with Safari. It takes a little bit of practice. Well, let me put it in with Home. Okay, you can hold it down and then click on that and click on the X and rename it if you wanted to. Okay, or you can pull it back out. All right, so that's what I've done here with the Google apps, just so I have them all in one place. So once you have your Google Suite, okay, you want to mainly work in Google Drive. That's where you're going to try to stay the most organized. I'm going to click on that. Make sure you're logged in. Okay, so you can see here I'm in my teacher email. Okay, some of you guys have your personal email on there too. Make sure you're always in your student email when you're creating documents. And you can see here I've already got a lot of folders. Okay, each folder has different documents depending on what the folder is called. So I have a folder specifically for all of my notes and worksheets for 9th grade writing. Okay, that just helps me stay organized. So how you create a folder is if you see this little plus button down in the bottom right hand corner, you can click on that. And you have different options. The one we're going to look at is, of course, the folder, but you can also just create Google Docs, Google Sheets, or Google Slides in here too. But we're going to click on folder, and it kind of just depends on what you want to organize. Say, for instance, you're in, an English class, and you've written a couple of essays, and you always find it difficult to go back and find those essays. You might want to create a folder where you just have the essays in there. Okay. For the sake of this, I want my freshmen to have just a folder for Odyssey notes. So I'm going to call this Odyssey. All right, and hit create. So you can see here it's created. All right, I'm going to click on it. And of course here, you can move it around, delete it, whatever you need to, because I held it down. But I'm just going to do a quick click. So there aren't any items in the folder so far. Say I wanted you to make a Google slide show about a Greek god. What you can do is go within this folder and click on Google Slides, and it'll automatically have that slideshow, within that folder. Let's see. Okay, so if I go back and refresh, it's right there. If you have something, or say you create something, like if you just go in here and create another slide, and it's Greek goddess, but you want it within that folder. Okay, so if I go back, it's not going to be in that folder because I didn't click on the folder first. All right, I just have the Greek god. I don't have the Greek goddess. What you can do is go here. I don't know if you can do it within the actual slideshow, but you can click on these 3 little dots right here and move it this way. Okay, My Drive, and then go down and find that Odyssey folder and move it. Okay, that's another way you can arrange it if you don't actually click on the slideshow. You can also create, again, folders within folders. So if I just wanted a folder within this Odyssey for the notes, I could do that. So when I click on notes, I could create documents, or I can pull documents in there. So say I have, a lot of times I give my students the notes and they just have to make a copy. So say I did that. So I'm just going to pull a random document into there. So imagine this first one is a, well, it actually is. It's a chart of the Greek gods and goddesses, but it's not in that folder yet, so I can move it there. So I click on the 3 dots, I click on move, go to My Drive, find that Odyssey folder, okay, and then there's the notes, and I can move it there, okay, so move there. And so when I go back into that folder, all of my notes are in that one folder. Okay, so there it is. So hopefully this will keep you a little bit organized. If you found any of this confusing, let me know. If you have any questions, again, let me know. So here, make sure you're in your student email address. Okay, so you can see here I'm in my teacher account. Over here, beside of where you see your account, you should have this little box, and when you click on it, you can see you can go into Google Drive, okay, and it'll pull that up. And within your Google Drive, you have a bunch of folders, okay. You can see here I have a bunch of folders. This just keeps you organized, and it's always a good idea to be organized. So some folders you might have in here might be, you know, English 9, English 10, English 11, English 12, depending on, you know, what grade you're in. For the sake of this video, though, at this time, I want my freshmen to have a folder just for materials for the Odyssey, because we're about to cover the Odyssey, and there's going to be a lot of notes that they're going to have to take, so I want that to all be organized into one folder. So if you're on a computer, you go over here to New, okay, you can click on this, and here you can see you can make a bunch of different documents, like docs, sheets, slides, form, etc. Okay, there's a bunch of stuff you can make. But here I just want you to make a folder. Okay, depending on what you want to organize in this folder, that's what you'll name it. But again, for the sake of this, it's just going to be Odyssey Notes. Okay, so anytime I have you fill out any notes or make any slideshows for the Odyssey as we read it, it needs to go in this folder. Okay, so you can always go back and find that on your computer. So if I give you an assignment, okay, you can pull it in here. Or if you have to create your own assignment, say you're doing a slideshow on a Greek god or goddess, you can go into this folder, click New, click Slides. Okay, you always want to give it a name. So and you can see it's not in here yet. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so if you click New and you're already in the folder, it'll pull it in there. But if you don't, if you just create it, there's this little option right here. It says Move on the actual document. This will be on Google Docs as well. And you can click on Move and move this document around. So if it's right now, it's in the notes, but if it was back on just in my drive randomly, I could pull it into the Odyssey folder. Okay, but just click in here and it'll say Move Here. All right, but it says the item is already in that folder. So this is a way you can keep organized. Again, if you wanted a folder for just your English essays, you can make a folder for that. If you have, you know, notes in history and you want to organize them by units, you can do that also. In the Odyssey notes, you can make folders within folders. So if you wanted a folder within here that was just for the notes, you could do that. So of course, this is one of the documents you have to make a copy of, so it's not automatically pulled into any kind of folder. So if I wanted to keep all of my Google Docs within this one folder within the Odyssey Notes, what I can do is go to, again, that little option Move, and move it into that Odyssey folder. Okay, so right now it's in just a random notes folder. I can go back, go to Odyssey Notes, and move it there. So you'll be able to click on it. It'll say Move Here, and so it'll let you know. And when you go back, it'll be there. Okay, so you can always tell in which folder you're in because there's these little arrows. So I am in my drive in this folder and then in this final folder. Okay, so it's in that notes folder. Okay, and it's also, again, it's within that same folder. So hopefully this is helpful for you. to try to stay organized.